Hello, this is the start of video number 2 in my collection and declutter series, and today we are going to be doing all of my lip products. I do just want to note, if there are things I've decluttered past years that show back up for whatever reason, when I declutter things, I declutter them specifically to my sisters or I have a couple cousins, and so sometimes those things do make their way back into my collection, usually not with lip products though. If I still have lip products that I have decluttered, it's just because I forgot to throw them away or I didn't find a new home for them. Specifically, I have these two empties that for whatever reason got put back up with my collection last year and I just forgot about them, but these both need thrown away. They're basically all used up. And it's been a full year since I have used them, so I don't even feel comfortable using the last little bit that's in here. So these are just going in the trash. There are some other things like that I might uncover. But the very first thing we're going to start with is lip liners and like potted miscellaneous objects. So yeah, we'll probably just start with these potted ones just because that makes the most sense. So I don't see myself decluttering too many of these, mostly because most of these are fairly recent in the last year or two. So we'll start with these two from Shall We. I like this packaging from Shall We the most. I think these are all from Shall We actually, but these ones come in like smaller containers, and yes, there are two, but I think that the price is the same as these bigger ones, and these have a glass packaging. So this first one is in the shade Crush, and it is kind of this true blue red. I do sometimes use these on the cheeks as well. Mostly I use these three and this one. I don't really reach for these two. So this is Love Story, and it is a pinker version of Crush. So that one's kind of a coral neutral color. And then we have these duos. This one is in the shade Farasha. So it has a lighter and a darker side. I think this is the one I use the least out of these duos. This one is in, well, this one says it is in the shade Farasha, but I know it isn't because it is a different color. So this one has more of a dark brown and a brick orangey red. And then we have this one in the shade, well, this one says Farasha too. Maybe it's because they're from the Farasha collection. Oh yes, over here it says, so this one is in the shade, I can't tell because it's creased. It starts with an L though, which means this is in the shade Fae. So the lighter two are Fae. This darker duo is in the shade Leica. And then this shade, these two are the ones I use the most. And I don't know what this says, but we're gonna swatch it anyway. So this is my most used one out of all of these. I really love this shade. It's kind of a dusty, rosy shade. And then this darker one has a different formula than the rest. It's a lot smoother and also kind of like this dark red, like blood red color. It is pretty, but I do prefer a cooler toned red on myself most of the time these days. And then this last duo is from the Somber Garden collection, and it's in the shade Wisteria, and it is a green and a purple. And as you can see, I've used this green a lot. I really love it. It is the funnest, funkiest color in my collection, and it is just, it's so fun. And then I really like this purple too because it's my favorite kind of purple. It's a very gray based, and I really like it. So that is all of those. So that is a keep of 6, a declutter of none. Next we're going to go in with pencils, and then this one thing that's kind of a miscellaneous. This is a Menagerie Moonlit Metal Topper in the shade Moondust, and I actually use this a lot, and I usually use it on my lips as kind of a lip topper because it's just pretty, and sometimes I like something a little glittery. It's very transformative, and it kind of has more of a golden color on top of like lipstick most of the time, even though it's like kind of got these green glitters in it. It's just really pretty. So I am going to keep that. And then as far as lip liner, I have a lot, and this isn't a product I've used all that much until the last year, and I got these for as a present from my spouse, and I have used the absolute fuck out of these specifically. These are the Smiley Lip Blending Stick from Lily by Red, and I have 5 of them, and I love these. There was a span of time that anytime I did my lips, I was using one of these until I had to make myself stop so I could use other products in my collection, but I have swung back around to using these most of the time because I'm not wearing makeup as much, and these give a really nice natural look, and I'm just wearing these all over the lips most of the time. I'm not even wearing other products with them. So let's get all these out here. All right, so we're gonna start with this, and I don't think these have shade names in the traditional sense. I think they're numbers. So this is number 3, and it's a cool brown. On me, it reads really warm, but in the stick, it looks really cool toned. And depending on what I put on top of it, it still gives a more cool toned look to other things. So it's a really interesting color. And then this is my most used shade, I believe, in number 6. As you can see, I have used this one a lot. It's really messy. And it's kind of a, I don't know, like a neutral mauve color. It is a My Lips But Better shade. And then we have this one, which is number 1. And I like this one too. It's kind of a more neutral pink. And then this is shade 2, which is a warm orangey chestnut color. And I don't know that I use this one very much at all. And then this one is in the shade 5. And it's also kind of even warmer and more, I don't know, corally peachy. But I have used it. So I am keeping those ones for sure. I kind of view them as maybe a little bit separate than traditional lip pencils since these are actually pencils. So let's go in with my Besame ones. This is from the I Love Lucy collection. It is a cool toned red. It matches the lipstick perfectly. And then we have these 2 from the Marilyn Monroe collection. I don't think these have names either. This one's kind of a peachy pink. This one, which is also a red from the Marilyn Monroe collection, which is more blue toned than the one from the I Love Lucy collection. And then we have this that I still have from You Say Beauty. I still really like this, even though, I don't know, like I don't use it as much since I got these, and it's pretty much the same color as number 6 from the Lily by Red Smiley Lip Blending Sticks. But I'm going to keep this anyway, just because I still like this, and this brand has been defunct for like years now, so there's no way I could get another one if I wanted to. These ones are from Glamlight. I think this is one I decluttered and then I couldn't bring myself to actually like get rid of it. And it's a cooler toned version of these two and kind of a little bit darker. So it does add some variety. This one that is from the Rick and Morty collection. That is, I don't know, like a bit warmer. There's very little difference, especially on the lip, but I don't mind having multiples, I guess. This is also from the Rick and Morty collection. I like this one though, and I've used it a lot this year. I didn't really see myself using it that much, but it's kind of this dark purple, and it's very beautiful, and yeah, I've reached for it more than I thought I would. And then I have these from Besame. So I have the Coco and Naturale. So Coco. And then Naturale. And this is Rose and Pink. I obviously have a type when it comes to lip liner colors. These swatches are getting smaller as time goes on. And then this one is Cerise and Red. So that one is Cerise, and this one is Red. And I'm going to keep all of these, so this is again a declutter of none, keep of 15. Next up we have lip gloss. I also don't really see myself getting rid of anything here. Historically, lip gloss has been my least favorite makeup product, pretty much outside of blush. But I have really loved it this year. Again, I got these from Juicy Beauty. I got some as a gift, and some of them I bought myself. And I have absolutely loved these. I've used them a lot in conjunction with these Lily by Red lip blending sticks. And I love this combo so much. I don't know. There's just something I've really liked about the glossy look this year on lips. Again, I've never really liked that. I've always been pretty matte. I've always loved mattes on my lips because of the longevity, but I don't have a day job anymore, so I don't really care about longevity so much, and I have time to reapply when I'm going somewhere, when I'm wearing makeup. So I love these, and it kind of has made me like lip gloss more. I have used a lot of them more, so we're gonna go ahead and start probably with these because they are my favorite. So these are the Glossy Rouges, and this is in the shade Naked Tea. And then we have Peach Dew, Sweet Tea, Summer Night, which is one of my very favorites out of all of these. And then we have Flat White, and Crushed Chestnut, which is my other most used. And I think this one, Summer Night, is the one that is glittery. And then this is from Haggard, and this was a free gift with purchase from the Look Healthy store, and I really like this one too, but it does have a much thicker texture. So I am definitely keeping all of those. This is an ultra glossy lip from the Tangled collection from ColourPop, and I bought this specifically because it's Tangled, but also I wanted a green lip gloss, and it was between this one and I think they had one from the Winx collection, and so I decided to go with this one. And it's pretty. It reads more gold on the lips than pink. But I do like the ultra glossy consistency. I used to have a lot more of these, but I either used them up or threw them away years and years and years ago. So that's another keep. Next we'll probably go with these from Fui. I do not like this. I hate this with a passion. This is the 3D voluming gloss in vanilla 30%, and this smells disgusting. Like, so gross. I hate it so much. So this is definitely something I'm getting rid of. Then I have these two. This is also the 3D changing gloss in the shade Scene Black. I like these a lot more. I don't like the applicator. It's this really weird paddle brush. But I do like these, and I use these as, like, I don't know, blenders for my lipstick. And this is in the shade Scene Lavender. They're both more purple, because even this black is like a darker purple. And then Scene Lavender is kind of a lighter pinky purple. But I do really like these, and these don't really have a smell at all. So I'm going to keep those. And then we have these two from Glamlight. I've used this one quite a lot. This is the Daphne one. I don't know. There's something about this glitter, like this pink glitter, that is just so beautiful and transformative over lipsticks. And then this one is the Velma one. And I use this one a lot when I use the Velma lipstick. It's just, I don't know, it's just pretty. It has some very pretty pink and orange glitter in it. And I do like this formula, so I'm going to keep those. And then this one from Lunar Beauty. I believe that this is another holdover that I should have thrown away, but I have used it a couple of times this year, but I do think that it's pretty much at its end. I am contemplating taking the stopper out, but it is starting to smell off, so I don't know, like I might just throw it away, so maybe that's another one for the declutter. And then lastly, we have these. This isn't really a lip gloss so much. It's kind of like these juicy, glossy stick things. And what brand is this from? Girl Cult. I do not know the shade this is in. I think the shade 11. I got this as a free gift with purchase, and I really love this. I've used it a lot. So I'm going to keep that. And then we have my Fenty glosses. We have Sweet Mouth. If you hear my cat absolutely throwing a hissy fit, he wants me to cuddle with him, and he's upset that I'm not going to the other room. So he's fine, he's just disgruntled. Then we have Fussy. And you can see, these are super old, but I'm not getting rid of any of these, and they all still smell fine, and I've used all of them recently. I love my Fenty glosses. And then we have the shade Fenty Glow. This is Diamond Milk. It's probably the most glittery gloss I have, and I've used a fair amount of it. Glass Slipper is probably my very, very least used, and I don't know, like I always feel like it doesn't quite have the same formula as the rest. It's really sticky and goopy, and it's just a clear gloss, and I don't know, like I just don't like using it, but I like having it, if that makes sense. This one is one from Moist Pure Essence Lip Oil from, I do not know how to say that. This was a free gift with purchase from the Look Healthy store, and I actually really, really like this, and I have used this a couple of times. I like to use it just as kind of like a lip moisturizer, and it's really thick and sticky, but not in a goopy way. So I'm going to keep both of those, even though I probably don't need 2 clear glosses. I'm going to do it anyway. I have this from the Star Wars collab from ColourPop in the shade Elite. And I don't know, like I don't like this at all, but I don't have anything else like this in my collection, and it's really beautiful over the top of purple lipsticks especially. These two from ColourPop, I don't use these anymore. These are from the Star Wars Mandalorian collection. I just keep these for the IP. I did use a lot of them at one point in time, but I'm not going to swatch them because I don't even use them on my lips. This is just where I keep them at. And then I have this from Melt, which I hate, but it's the only gold gloss I have in my collection. And sometimes I just really, really want a gold glitter. I hate the way this smells. I hate the way it feels. It's super gritty on the lips. But if I wear it with a lipstick, I don't notice it as much. It smells atrocious. I hate this applicator. What shade is this in? This is in the shade Saint? No. Yeah, Saint. This came with like a mini lipstick collection, I think. I don't like this. I don't like it, but I'm going to keep keeping it. This is from Clinique in the shade Black Honey. I bought 2 of the lipsticks from Clinique because my mom has raved and raved and raved about them. And this came like in a set with one of them. I think with the Black Honey like lipstick, I think maybe. I've never used this. I don't think. I don't remember using this. It doesn't have a smell or anything, so I'm just going to keep it because I have it and see if I use it, and if not, I might give it to my mom. I am going to be keeping 24 and decluttering 2. So we're starting out with 46 bullet lipsticks. I have quite a lot of bullet lipsticks, not as many as I had last year. Last year, my declutter was a lot more, I guess, brutal. Oh, that reminds me, I do also have 6 of these. I think that I might be missing a couple. I don't know, but I'm going to put these up here. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start swatching. I don't see myself decluttering really anything from this category because I was so brutal last year, and I haven't really added anything new outside of these 2, which are from Clinique. So this is in the shade Black Honey. And these are more, I don't know, like sheer. I think that they might even be called lip sheers. I got these, and this one's Pink Honey. I got these on the recommendation from my mom. She really likes these, and I do as well. I've liked a lot more of a glossy formula this year, so I'm going to keep those 2. And then these from Necromancy Cosmetica, I got to replace the ones I had before, and they come in a new packaging. Their old packaging looked like this. This is one I kept just for reference, but I don't use these. These all are really old and dried out. And these ones actually come with a different lid, but the lids don't like stay on very good. Like they come off super easy. This is one of the better ones. See, like this one, it's so loose. I don't like them. So, also I feel like these little lids keep the air in better, and like, I don't know, like they don't seem to have dried out. But I don't know the names of these because they don't have the names on them. These are, well, I can't get it out now. But these are supposed to be, yeah, here. You can buy the refills to put in the packaging if you want. But I don't like this refillable packaging. I don't feel like it is very, like, it's not going to keep the lipstick longer. But I do think that this is the shade Lestrange, which is one of my very favorites. And then we have this one, and I think that this is the shade Dolorosa, maybe. I think this is a newer one, or Paper Flowers. I don't know. I can't even remember for sure which ones I bought. This one is a dark gray, so I think that this one might be Lamento, one of the new ones. And then we have this one, which is a lighter pink. So maybe this one's Dolorosa? I absolutely do not remember. I hate that I don't, but they also don't have the name on the packaging, and if I had realized that when I was first putting them in, I would have kept the stickers. This one is gray. I think the only gray one that they have is called Nightshade, maybe? And then this last one, I know what it is because it's green, and this one is Ghoul Queen. But yep, those are those. And I love this formula though. I do, as much as I don't like the packaging, I really love this formula. It's one of my very favorite bullet lipstick formulas, and Necromancy Cosmetica has such beautiful and fun shades. So I'm going to be keeping those. Moving on to some that I actually, like, I had intended to finish this up. This is a Fenty Beauty Mademoiselle. They don't even make this anymore. This is in the shade Thick. And, well, the bullet came out on its own. So that's not good. But I loved this shade. It was one of my favorites for years. But I don't know, like I meant to use it up this year and completely forgot. I put it in the drawer, so I am going to leave this out on my table here and maybe hopefully remember that I'm going to use that one up this year. There's not much left of it, so hopefully we can get to it. Okay, and then, other newer to me, I can't remember when I bought these. I think it was sometime this year, maybe even the end of last year. These are the Lisa Eldridge, I don't remember. These are her glossier formula. This is in the shade Spirited Away. I bought this shade because I like it, but also I love the movie Spirited Away, so that was also a huge thing. And I love how strong the magnet. I love this packaging. I haven't ever bought any of her matte lipsticks, but I've kind of wanted to. This is in Kitten Mischief, and I really like this shade too. So I have those two, and I'm keeping both of those. And then we have this one from Prada. I believe this is in the shade Tupelo. It doesn't say on the packaging, and I've looked a couple of times online and I can never remember. But I really love this one too. It's kind of a little bit darker than I usually go for, but it sheers out. I don't know that I'd recommend buying this. I think that Lisa Eldridge, like if you want something that feels luxurious, I think that the Lisa Eldridge bullet is heavier than this and has a better magnet. This one isn't bad, but like this is really expensive for what it is, and I just think that you can find something cheaper elsewhere. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my, what is this brand called? Charlotte Tilbury. I really love these lipsticks, but I have not bought a new one in years. I've always kind of looked at the website and meant to. I don't know. Like, I feel like I have the shades that I want from Charlotte Tilbury. So this is Mrs. Kisses. And these are some of my most used lipsticks in my collection, and I'm not getting rid of any of these. This one is in Scarlet Spell. This one is a darker color. The Duchess, which is my favorite, like my top favorite from the brand. I don't think that they make this anymore, which is a shame because it's beautiful, but it's very similar to these two from Lisa Eldridge. It's kind of like a mix of the two of them. And then we have First Dance, which is kind of a darker pink. I think this is my least used of all of these. We have So Marilyn, which is a red, which is beautiful. Wedding Bells, which is, I think this might be my favorite shade. It's just beautiful. And then we have Pillow Talk, which is their most like famous shade and probably like the one I've used the most, but I've had it the longest. All right, and then this one, which is in this fancier packaging in the shade Rose Wish. Let's move up here to Glamlight because I have quite a fair amount of those. I have these two from the Barbie collection that they don't have names. This one's a very pretty, like, pinky neutral. I probably have this 10 times over, but I'm going to keep this one anyway. The same with this one, which is kind of just a glittery pink topper shade. I'm going to keep this because I don't have anything else like it, and I do really like this. I have these three from the Scooby-Doo collection, and I would keep these even if I didn't like the formula because of the packaging. It's just so cute. Here is Zoinks. And then we have Rutrow, which is a neutral. And then this last one, which is Jeepers. That is also a neutral pink, pretty much the same color as that Barbie one. And then I have the two from the other Scooby-Doo collection. So this is Daphne. And Velma. I actually use Velma quite a lot. I use it with its lip gloss that came with it. It's just a really pretty terracotta shade. And then I have these three from ColourPop. These I don't actually use. I have been keeping them as, I don't know, just kind of mementos. I like the packaging. And now I say I don't use them. I think I have used these two this year. So this is Going North. I need to stop using them because of how old they are. But they still feel really creamy and nice. And then this one is a Little Snow. So those, and then this one is the Mulan one, and it is in Fa Mulan. And I'm not going to swatch it because I want to keep this shape pristine. And I don't use this one. I don't know that I've ever used it outside of maybe swatching it, at least not for years and years. Okay, so then I have these that are just kind of miscellaneous. So this one's from Revlon in the shade Amazon, and I bought this one because of the Wonder Woman IP. I also used to really love Revlon lipsticks. I do not like the formula of this, and I've had this setting just as kind of a display, and so that's where it's going to stay. These two, however, I really love. These are the oldest lipsticks in my collection from Estee Lauder, and it's a Pure Color Envy in the shade Intense Nude. This one is one I'm going to put aside to try painting this year, and kind of make it like a focus lipstick. And then this one is in the shade Crushed Rose, and this is from Lancome. And I absolutely love this. I've been working on this one this year to try to use it up because of how old it is. They both still smell great, and they wear very well. These are both, of course, in the older formulas of Lancome. I think that my aunt actually gave these to me. So these are probably close to like 15 or 20 years old at this point. But they still work well, and they don't smell off yet, so I'm going to keep keeping them. And then this one that I bought years ago from Ulta Beauty. This is in the shade Chili Pepper. I believe this is the shade that they used on Hayley Atwell in the first Captain America movie, which is why I bought it. I don't really use this one much anymore, but I like keeping it for the sentiment. All right, and then we have these from Kat Von D or KVD Beauty. I think it was Kat Von D still when I bought them. So this is in the shade Coven. And these also still smell really nice. They smell like cake. This is a beautiful pastel purple. And I used this one for Halloween, actually. And this one's my favorite of the two. And this is an Aussie. And it's just a really fun kind of pink-toned purple. And then we have these from Melt. I really like this packaging a lot, and it's very like magnetic. They magnetize to each other all the time. Now, as for the lipsticks themselves, here we have Circe. I think I might have decluttered this one last year. These don't smell that great, to be honest. They kind of smell, I don't know, like paint or crayons. I use this one as a mixer a lot. This is Judith, and this is probably surprisingly like my most used, as you can see. Like, I mix it with other stuff all the time. It has broken out of the bullet, but it still goes back in fine. So there's that one. And like I said, I use this a lot. I didn't realize I would use something like this, but because I've been using lip gloss and lip liners most of the time, I'll put this in the center of my lips to blend out with a lip liner and then put a gloss over it. And it's just, it's a very beautiful ombre look. So I'm going to keep that. This is the shade Lilith, which I thought would be my most used, but it surprisingly hasn't been, but I still really like it. It's a beautiful, like, gray color. And then this last one is in the shade Julia, and it's a pretty red, but I've never used it. I think I've only ever swatched it. It's a very blue-toned red, and it's, you know, very similar to some of the other reds I already have in my collection. So I want to keeping these one more year because I only bought them the end of last year, so I've only had them about a year, and give myself a chance to use them more. I do really like these two colors, but I do see myself passing these two on in the future. Okay, so here we have my lipsticks from Femme Power. These are actually probably one of my very favorites in my collection that I actually like reach for pretty often. They're just such a great formula. I do think that this brand is defunct now. I think they closed down. So this is the shade Serpent, which is a very pretty, like, mauve-y brown. And then we have Adam, which is my very favorite. I still use this lipstick a lot. It's kind of a cool-toned pinky mauve. And then we have Eve, which is a really bright flamingo pink, and I don't wear this one that often, but I have pulled it out a couple of times, and it's just fun to have something really bright like that. And then this one is in the shade Lilith, which I believe is a red. This one again is another kind of blue-toned red. I do have a type when it comes to red, apparently, but I will be keeping these four. I love the formula so much. If they're still available, I do recommend that you get them. And if you have them, pull them out and use them because they're great. Next, I'm going to do my Besame lipsticks. Besame has been my very favorite brand. I bought pretty much everything from them until this year. They've had several collections that I've really, I don't know, I've really wanted, like the Raven lipstick that's black and the Maria Felix collection that just came out. I absolutely adore everything about Besame, but they've been making some very weird choices that I don't, like, I don't know, it's made me really side-eye them, so I haven't picked up anything pretty much since the Ella Fitzgerald collection came out. And yeah, I don't know, like, I have mixed feelings about what they're doing right now, but I still love Besame, and the lipstick is still one of my favorites. So let's start here with Red Velvet. This was my very favorite red lipstick for a long time. It's the one that, of course, Peggy Carter, well, they used for Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell in the Peggy Carter, Agent Carter series, and it's just beautiful. And then we have What a Peach from the I Love Lucy collection, which I love. I think the lipsticks from the I Love Lucy collection are my favorite. So then this is Love That Redhead, which is the red from it, and it's the one I find myself reaching for the most. It's a little more warm-toned than some of the other reds I have, and I like that it's a little more unique. This is Victory Red, which is another bright blue-based red, pretty much the same one as this. That's Lilith from Femme Power. I mean, there's only so much uniqueness a blue-toned red can give you. These two from the Ella Fitzgerald collection, I've actually used them a ton. So this is Apollo, and they've renamed these and put them in their permanent collection, but I don't know the names of them. now. And then this is Savoy. I think one of them might be Dancing Sienna, but I don't know for sure. But I love these, and these are actually in kind of like a creamier formula. And then we have these from the Snow White collection, and I've actually reached for this one. This one is so beautiful. This pink in the shade Love's First Kiss. I adore this lipstick. They're kind of old, but they still work really well. And then this one is One Bite, which I also really like. It's kind of this darker shade. And then this is Make a Wish, which I believe is like a neutrally color. Yes. And then these two from the Mermaid Lagoon collection have been my favorites that I've used. Like, they're probably some of my most used in recent years from the brand. And we have Starfish Pink, which is really similar to that other Snow White one. And this one, which is Water Lily Blossom Red. It's just a very pretty kind of pinky red shade. So there we have all of those. I'm going to keep all of these. So I'm not decluttering any lipsticks. That's a keep of what, like 46, a declutter of none. All right, so here is my liquid lipsticks. I don't know how much, if anything, I'm going to declutter from here either. I'm really happy with what I do have. If I do declutter anything, it'll probably be from this, because this is my least favorite formula, but I'm going to go ahead and probably start with everything else, because I don't want to get rid of things if I don't have something similar, because lip products are the one thing I do want the most variety I can have, just so I feel freer to do whatever eye looks I want to do. I probably like lip products the very most of any category of makeup. I find it the one I want the most versatility in. I do have 30 though, like 30 exactly, and I find that number pretty satisfying. So again, I don't know how many, if any, I'll get rid of, but we're going to start here with these KVD liquid lipsticks. I think these might be the oldest in my collection at this point in time. But these still work really well, and I've actually used, this one is in the shade Aisha. I've used it recently, as well as, Requiem. I really love both of these shades. I find them just so pretty and unique, and I like this formula a lot. I wish that I had more from the older formula, and I guess this is another brand that's going out of business now. So this is LUV. And then this is Suspiria. So yeah, I'm going to keep those four for sure. And then these also from Lunar Beauty, I'm going to keep these. So I think this is in the shade Aphrodite. It doesn't have its sticker on it anymore, but I like this formula from Lunar Beauty, but I was given some from like a newer collection and I hated all of those. I decluttered them. So this is Wicked, and it's a black. It's not the best black I have, but it is the only one I have now, so I'm going to keep it. And then this one is Witch Bitch, which is a darker red than Aphrodite. And I'm going to keep that one too. And then moving on to these from Menagerie. Menagerie is one I've meant to buy more. It's just I have so many, and I haven't really been liking matte lipstick. So this is Luna. This one is Lagoon. Kodiak. Mirabelle. And High Tide. Then we have these from Black Moon, and I am really happy with the ones I have from Black Moon. There are a couple others I've looked at, but I think that they'd be a little redundant with everything else I have. So this is Gloom, and I do not like the applicator on these that much at all. This is Hazel. This is Ashes. And then this one is Bones. And I like the applicator on this because it's flat. I don't like a doe foot as much as I like a paddle brush. And then I have these two from Fui. These are more lip stains, and I do not know the specific shades. These are both Pink Obsessions, but one of them is a little more like dewy and lavender than the other. And they do build up on the lips. So this one's the more matte bottle, and I think this is the more pink one, yeah. So I do store these with my lip glosses, but they are technically lip stains, so I categorize them with my liquid lipsticks. I'm going to keep those. And then I have these from Femme Power. These are their lip duos. So they have a dewy side and a matte side. So this is Ubuntu. And I'm going to keep this one. It's purple. And I really like the matte side of this one. It's a really nice purple that's a little bit unique to the others that I have. And then here's the glossy side. But I am going to declutter this other one because I just don't use it that much, and I don't really use my liquid lipstick as much as I used to. And this is the shade Self. And as much as I really like this, I don't really use it that much, so I am going to pass it along to one of my sisters that I think will use it more. And there is the gloss side of that one. All right, so here is where things might be going, just because I don't like this formula that much. So these are actually from 3 different brands, but I would say that they probably come from the same or a similar supplier. So these are Kaleidos, and these 3 are Girl Cult. This is in the shade Rubino. And I do like the colors of the Kaleidos ones better, so I'm going to start with those because they are unique colors. So that's Rubino, which is kind of like this dark red. Mercury Wave, which is my favorite out of these because I like the color. It's this really interesting, like, purple. But I think it might be similar to the purple shade from the Wisteria collection from Girl Cult. They're a little different. I don't know, I'll have to think on that. And then we have the shade Siren, which is a dark purple. That is different from the other purples I have. This one doesn't have a name, but I think this one's like Scorpion. Maybe Scorpion Fruit. And it's this really dark plum shade. And then this one, which is in the shade Rose Fire. which is a pretty interesting pink color. And then this one, I also don't know the name of this one, and I think this one's like Queen something maybe, or maybe this one's Scorpion Fruit. It's a black. I don't know, because I do have this other black, so I might declutter that one. And this one, which is the shade Agave, which is a dark, like, teal. And I don't have anything else like this either in my collection, so I'm going to keep that. And then we have these from Girl Cult. So, I don't know the shade names. So we're just going to put that on there. And that one's really similar to this shade. So I'm going to declutter that one. And then we have this, which I also don't know the name of. Ooh, this is dark though. Oh, but this is the one that has like glitter in it. But I think I'm going to get rid of this one too, just because it's, I don't know, like gimmicky, I guess. And then this one, which I also don't know the name of. But I think this one might be a reddish shade. It's a dark red, and it's pretty much the same as those, so I'm going to get rid of that one too. So I'm going to get rid of all three of the Girl Cult ones, and then this one from Kaleidos. Yeah, so I don't know how many I'm keeping. I think 30. I have 30, so that means I'm keeping 26, and I'm getting rid of 4. So I did, you know, pretty okay here. The goal really wasn't to get rid of things, just to make sure I'm aware of what's in my collection. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for being here, and I will do my best to remember to link my declutter playlist below. I have already uploaded the face and miscellaneous kind of category that has base products, cheek products, and my eyeshadow declutter should be coming in the next week or two, so keep your eye out for that. Yeah, like the video, subscribe if you are interested in the other things I have on my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.